Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chisme and Chill podcast. It's your boy Jose. You guys know me from the groups, and that's essentially what this whole podcast is going to be about. It's exactly where we're going to be getting some of that information, right? We're going to be getting it from some of those groups. We're going to be talking about things like, your neighborhood gossip, the wins, the losses, things going on in the community outreach, etc. It's going to be based around the Coachella Valley. But, tap in with any information you got. If you see anything online, send it over. We'll do the investigation on it. We'll look into it, present it to you guys on the podcast. But without further ado, I think the whole reason why this came about was the podcast idea was centered around the credit card Bandit. That's the name that I gave it. Realistically, it's still kind of murky water, because on one side of the situation you have the owner of the credit card herself saying and showing statements from the banks about how they try to do some transactions there. I think in some of those there's the name, the name pops up of the other person involved. It's not quite clear yet from either side of the situation who did what. I've reached out to both parties. Obviously, one party has information, has posted receipts from bank statements, which, of that alone, it's like, how is whatever bank she has gonna have her name on those statements? Interesting to me, but I still reached out to the other person. When I did so, I was told that those were all lies, that she had never been in the vehicle. She reached out to her, but never really received the response, perhaps that she was looking for. So she alluded to the fact that, she had never been in the car, and it was not true. I offered her the opportunity to come on the pod and clear the air, but she says that, due to some CPS situations that she has ongoing, that she is not able to be on the pod or affiliated with the pod in any way, shape, or form, meaning I offered audio only. She can't do audio only. Obviously, she couldn't do video. She did send me her number to try to get on a call and clear the air. However, if I'm, not able to record that or anything, I'm not sure what good it does. I might have to do that interview via text messages or DM, and then post it up here for you guys, because I have a plethora of questions for her too. Because on her side, I did receive from another, generous group member some information that I might go ahead and post right here. But it's about her and her previous run-ins with the law. We'll call it that. So it's what seems to be like a news report, where it talks about her being arrested in Indio by La Quinta Set deputies. Sheriff's Department. So there was somewhere along the lines of $8,000 to $10,000 worth of goods that were recovered, that were stolen goods. She was charged with them. However, there's no real conclusion of what that was. I looked it up very briefly on the Sheriff's Department's website or platform, and there was nothing concrete that I could find. So, it seems like at a very surface level, there is some form of record or some form of rap sheet when it comes to theft in general. But we won't know until we're able to, one, pull concrete documentation, and two, get her side of the story as well. I try to get with the owner of the credit card. She's obviously upset. She doesn't necessarily want to talk at this point, due to the rage, of the whole situation. I don't think I'd be able to get them both, in the same podcast, or at least in the same video, even if they were both willing, meaning they were both okay with recording it, because it seems like, one of them just wants to squabble it out. The other one, has an ongoing CPS case, has a baby daddy who's using this situation particularly to perhaps establish more theft allegations or more criminal activity on her end, because she's afraid that she will not be getting her kids at all anymore. So it's kind of interesting that, you know, she tries to say, you know, that she was never involved with the credit card situation. The statements have her name, but she says she doesn't have Facebook Pay. She's never been in the car. And she sent me some screenshots that I might post here, of a conversation that really went nowhere between her and the owner of the credit card. Ironically enough, I have a connection that I didn't know until after the fact with the alleged thief. Some of you guys might remember, but during Christmas, I was helping out, making donations when it came to Christmas gifts for, you know, families and their children, specifically the children. And she was one of those families that was chosen. She was actually, I believe, the first or the second one. And so, interestingly enough, she DMs me and says, "Hey, I want to clear the air. I didn't do that." And when she does that, I actually see the conversation we previously had regarding Christmas. So, you know, she DMs me and says, "Well, you know me, you saw me that day." Well, I don't know her, but I did see her that day. You saw, you know, how I was grateful for the gifts. I can say that, you know, she was very thankful for them. But, you know, it was just interesting that after the fact I found that out. So it just caught my attention even more. But I don't know that we're going to be able to get to the solid bottom of this. Who's lying, who's not, who's the thief, you know, who exactly was the victim here. It's hard to determine without being able to hear both sides. And I think that's a huge part of what this podcast is going to be centered around, is giving everybody the opportunity to, you know, voice out their side of stories, their sides of the stories. And it's not just going to be centered around, you know, bad things. Like I said, you know, there's going to be, you know, outreach situations that we want to be able to bring to the public and bring more attention to. There's going to be situations where there's currently a community member who is looking for her son, who's part of the homeless community or the in-house community, and, you know, he has some kidney health issues. So I'll post that screenshot right here too, so you guys are able to see that. And if somebody you know, does see him, just keep an eye. Has, you know, the poster's information, so we're able to reach out and help out. So there's going to be things like that. It's going to be a mixture of a couple of different avenues when it comes to the you know, the whole communications and the whole just the broad scheme of things, right? It's gonna be mixed with all sorts of chismes, if you will, good and bad. You know, we had a high-speed chase most recently, and the high-speed chase, I've been kind of keeping an eye on the Sheriff's Department's booking. There was Sheriff's Department, Desert Springs Police, and California Highway Patrol that were involved. They deployed a spike strip. They were able to bring the pursuit to a halt. I want to see if I can get, you know, those guys in an interview. I don't know what their charges look like. I know one of them, I think all of them had warrants, felony warrants. One of them, who bailed out of the vehicle, if I recall correctly, I was actually caught with a firearm. He was apprehended with a firearm. So I don't think those are people that I'm going to be able to necessarily interview anytime soon. But if I can get them on the pod, or get some of the sheriff deputies on the pod, and have a couple connections with our detective bureau in Desert Hot Springs, so I might be able to, you know, get them to answer some questions. But, you know, overall, there's another really good one that I actually am already talking to, and we're hoping to get him here sometime within the next, you know, week. It might be the next drop if I can get the credit card bandit situation on the pod. But you guys might remember him. He is a local mechanic who was actually involved in a bit of a infidelity scandal. He was, you know, exposed by, I believe, the mistress. There were some photos there of him, you know, perhaps in the shower, PG, safe for work, nothing crazy. But I've been talking to him and trying to get him on the pod to see, follow up, how he's been, how did that come into light, affect him negatively and positively. I believe he's now been, in decent terms or in good terms with his partner. So just trying to see, what that looks like. He's been doing some community engagement as well. He's been raffling some mechanic raffles there, or some automotive raffles, sorry. So try to get him on the pod. I'm already in talks with him, and we're just trying to get a date, to get the interview going, get everything flowing. So, there's going to be just kind of all things chisme, all things gossip. If you guys see something, send it on the DM, send it my way. I'll be happy to go and interview the people. It seems to be a big situation going around with unhoused individuals getting into physical altercations. Most recently, there was one in the Stater Brothers Shopping Center that really, kind of sparked interest in the people, and it was a bit comical, but people were still interested in the situation of it itself. So those are things that are going to have to be in the moment. Somebody sees it going down, let me know, because one of the hardest things with that community is they're hard to come by. So it's not necessarily easy for me to go and try to find these people to ask them questions after the fact. So if it's going on, if it's ongoing, the videos, there was a live video that was actually put up, tag me in it, send it to me, whatever the case may be. If I can, I'll be happy to get out there and just try to get their side of the story. Whose territory was it? Who was in the wrong? What exactly happened? Take it with a grain of salt. But it's just going to be a mixture of everything. It's going to be the good, the bad, and the neutral. So there's going to be a mixture of things. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all of the followers, all of the baseline followers, our first ones. You guys are great. I hope that the content that comes out is something that's entertaining. That's it. I'm not here to determine guilty or innocent. Sorry. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law or within their conscience. But that is not mine. It's not my decision to make. So, take this for pure entertainment. Take it for, nothing other than, freedom of the press. We're doing interviews. We're getting people to talk, talk their side, talk their story. And let us know. Same thing. I know there's some local restaurants out here, local dispensaries actually, that are going to be doing some outreach, to some fundraising, for, people affected by the fires that are going on right now. And so we're going to do some of that covering, cover some of that as well. We're going to do some of that coverage, give that some notoriety, give that some, extra eyes and ears. But just let people know, hey, this is what's going on within our neighborhood, within our community, and overall within our valley. There's going to be situations that are going to come out from other local neighborhoods, other local cities. So we're going to try to get that. But once again, this is our intro and a bit of an overview of the credit card Bandit scandal. Like I said, maybe we get to the end of that, maybe we don't. People need to be willing to answer questions. I'm not trying to entrap anybody into answering or saying anything they don't want to. I've been very open with them, trying to navigate this whole process of getting them on the podcast, which could be, me coming out to them, which I've offered, meeting in a public space, which I've offered, whatever makes them feel comfortable. It's a super simple setup, no crazy edits. I don't have a full editorial team behind me to get everything done. I also have a full-time job. So, don't expect, at least now, top of the line edits and top of the line production, but I definitely want to deliver top of the line product, top of the line questions, top of the line guests, top of the line chisme. So, we don't see this type of stuff being broadcasted on our TV and our networks around the valley. So I want to make sure I broadcast this on the tip of your fingers, on your phones, when you go on YouTube, when you go on Facebook, when you go on Instagram, who knows, TikTok? Maybe. Just depends. Will they survive? Who knows? I think Elon Musk is trying to shut a deal there, get something worked out. So anything's possible, but point is, when you're scrolling, tip of your fingers, I want to bring some of this information to you guys. I want to make it short, simple, to the point, entertaining, to where it doesn't seem like somebody's trying to shove information or chisme down your throat. It's more like it's entertaining, it's engaging, and we engage with each other. You have questions, comments, concerns. Hey, you know what? You move your hands too much. I'm not an Angels fan. Any comments, drop them in there. If you have questions, I do have a broken finger, so we'll give that some time, and hopefully I'll have an extra finger to wave around here. But without further ado, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the follows, the support, the laughs, all the reacts that I've been getting. You guys are the reason why we went ahead and started this podcast, because I think it's going to be a cool way to interact and a cool way for you guys to see, hear, and overall be informed of the chisme going on in the community. So once again, it's your boy Jose, Chisme in the Pod. We're out.